I'd like to call the House Transportation Subcommittee to order. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Representatives Boyd, Grills, Hall, Hicks, Howell, Potts, Russell, Towns, Whitson.
Here.
Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Do we have any personal orders we'd like to address? Representative Grills, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And right beside Chair Lady Littleton is my youngest little girl, Jaxie. We call her Red, and I guess y'all can figure out why. But she's 7 years old, and she and her sister and her mom are with me this week. And anyhow, delighted to have them to get to come up here and spend a couple of days with all of us. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay, with that, we have 12 items on our agenda today, and we'll just start. First of all, item number 1, House Bill 1484 is taken off notice. Next we have up is House Bill 236 by Chairman Littleton. You are recognized, ma'am. We have a motion and a second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill would add $3 to the Real ID compliant driver's license issued used by the entity for administration cost since the color of the Real ID has come into play. The county clerks have been doing this job as well, and so they've been really bombarded with other counties and lots of people to get the job done. So this would be non-recurring after this time, and we are working on the funding.
Madam Chairman, I show we have an amendment. Do you show 4649?
Oh, let me see. I guess I'm not prepared.
Well, we'll get it to you here just shortly.
I have 4826.
Okay, we show 4649 on the marked
I see
calendar.
that on the very back page.
Pardon?
Yes, I have that. Thank you.
Okay, good. We'll take care of you. Yes, now we need to vote to put Amendment 4649 on the bill. Do we have a motion and a second? Okay, without objection, 4649 goes on. Oh, we need to vote. Okay, that's right. I'm moving too fast here. Okay, all in favor of putting 4649 on the bill, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, now please explain the amendment and the bill again, please.
This is to try and get some of the CARE Act funding to since the county clerks have been closed during the COVID, so now they're really getting another surge. So this is trying to get some CARE Act money to help them get caught up, and it's just for the funding for the bill.
Okay, do we have any questions for the sponsor? Nope. Okay, we have a question on the bill. Okay, we're now voting on House Bill 236. All in favor, send it to Transportation Full, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, goes to Transportation Full.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 3, House Bill 1470 has been taken off notice. That brings us to House Bill, or item number 4, House Bill 1544 by Chair Lady Weaver. We'll roll it to the hill. Okay. Next up, we have House Bill 1287 by Representative Johnson, and that has been taken off notice. Okay. That brings us to item number 6, House Bill 1213. That is the third row for this. We will take that up in, what? Oh, where is he? Oh, there you are. I didn't see you. I'm sorry. Yes, you are recognized, Representative Miller, on House Bill 1213. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to take that off. Okay. Would you understand you want to make a few comments?
Well, actually, Mr. Chairman, this particular issue is in the courts right now. And it's my understanding from the Department of Safety that they're doing all they can to make sure that the language in this bill, they're in the process of activating that now.
Okay,
So I didn't want to disturb that with this legislation at the time.
okay. Without objection, House Bill, what? Okay, we still need to put this on special, okay. Yes, we have to put this on special calendar that will be taken up right after this. You don't need to be here for that, since this is the third row. So without objection, we're gonna move this to special calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I don't need to take a vote. Okay. Thank you, Representative Miller. Next up is item number 7. And that's House Bill 1392. Representative Freeman, you are recognized.
Thank you, committee. Thank you, Chairman.
Do we have a motion and a second? We have a motion and a second. You're recognized, sir, on House Bill 1392.
Thank you. House Bill 1392 adds entertainment transportation to the list of types of transportation which local governments may choose to regulate. Here in Nashville, we've had an influx of this new type of entertainment transportation, and as of today, it is not regulated. And the intent for me today is to pass this out of the subcommittee and encourage all parties to get together to make sure that they are all on the same page and that we have reasonable regulations that they can all live with, but that also can protect the other businesses in specifically downtown Nashville, but this would be across the state. And so with that, I stand ready to answer any questions, but ask for your support.
Committee, do we have any questions? Chairman Howell, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Representative, thank you for bringing this bill. This is an issue we've dealt with on this committee for 2 years now. And we've had a lot of conversation back and forth with committee members and people from the industry. And I'm hoping that we can still get the two sides to come together and talk. You and I talked about this earlier, and I think that's the goal. And I had some people, representatives from the industry in my office recently, and they said to me that their goal is to be regulated because that gives them legitimacy. It also, of course, brings money, revenue into the city. So appreciate your work on this, and hopefully through your efforts we can get the two sides communicating. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Lowell, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. And just a quick question for the sponsor. Are you going to try to get the two to work out the differences between now and full committee and do an amendment? Or?
Thank you. That's a great question. Sorry if I wasn't clear. No, my intention is to encourage the planning of a meeting between now and full committee, and if that happens, I'll roll it till first calendar of next year, and then just encourage them. I'll offer my services. If I add anything, I'll stay out of it if I don't, which I'm happy to do as well. But I just want this to be scheduled so that they know that we're serious, that if these two parties don't come together, that we're going to make a decision for them, and somebody may or may not like the decision we make. But I have no desire to do that. I want them to work it out themselves. And so, again, if they agree to do that between now and next full committee, I promise I'll roll it till next year.
Representative Russell.
Thank you for doing that.
Thanks.
Any other comments? We do have two, we're going to go out of session here without objection. We have two individuals who'd like to give testimony. No objection, we're out of session. Okay, first witness. And please state your name and your organization, sir, for the record.
Hello, my name's Grant Rosenblatt. I represent
Hold on one second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you can take your mask so we can hear
Okay.
you. Yes, sir.
Obviously, I'm not used to this.
Okay.
But, yeah, my name's Grant Rosenblatt. I represent the Honky Tonk Party Express. I just put a few notes here to make this brief. So thank you, Chairman Winston, for taking the opportunity to speak with us, and also the members of the subcommittee that we've all met with. This is obviously a very important issue to me, to y'all, I feel like, and to the city of Nashville. Again, I own the Honky Tonk Party Express. We are the largest operator in this town, a leader, and we do set the standard for what we do. in everything that we do. I started with one bus in 2016 and one driver. Thankfully, today, I'm happy to report, and in 2021, I've got a few more buses, and I employ almost 36 full-time drivers. And these are drivers mainly that I'm pulling from metro school systems and from the bus system, simply because they too have lost their jobs or their income-producing abilities during COVID. And we are there to support them as professional drivers and also in what we do. My goal is pretty simple. I want to continue talks with the city. I think there's a lot of common ground that we can achieve. We do want regulation. We feel that regulation is going to be good, but we need to have some common ground. Currently, as this bill stands, it's a blank check to Nashville. Nashville would get to make all the rules. We don't have a seat at the table. There are other operators who didn't even know that this was happening, that haven't had a seat at the table. And this bill, as you know, goes further than Nashville. It goes to a statewide type bill for every municipality. So, we want to put the bill off notice. We want to continue conversations with the city, which I would love to have and love to lead in that conversation. I do have started the Nashville Nashville Tourism Association to do that. We have currently 5 of the party entertainment companies there. But, I'll end with this. We all know this. 2020 was awful. It started with the tornado, then came in COVID. We had riots, you name it, Nashville got hit with it. Even as of recently, the flood that we just got, I lost 3 vehicles as a small business owner. That is huge, huge. I'm just looking to catch my breath. I'm looking to be made whole again from last year. I'm just looking to talk to people that understand the challenges of owning a small business and doing what's right. I couldn't control anything that just happened this year, but the one thing that we can control today is what happens in this room. And that's why I made it a priority to come talk to each and every one of you to show it's a priority for me. I'm hoping it's a priority for the city, and I know it's a priority for other people in our industry. So I'll end it with that. Thank you all very much, and I can answer any questions if you have.
Okay. Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you, sir, and we'd like to call the next witness. Sir, please state your name and your organization for the record, please.
Curtis Carney, and it's Off the Wagon Tours.
Okay. Sir.
Off the Wagon. I'm pretty sure he stole my whole speech almost.
It happens
First, I
all
want
the
to thank
time.
I met with almost all of y'all, and I appreciate y'all's time. It means a lot to us that y'all take the time to meet with us. Last year, this bill was pushed by Chairman Weaver and other members of the board, and at the end of it, Chairman Weaver advised the city to get with us, the same as Representative Freeman is requesting this time. I met with the vice mayor last year in the hallway out here, and we still were not able to set up one meeting. We actually just started work with them the beginning of last week is the first meeting we've actually had with anybody from the city in almost a year and a half that we've requested it. We tried several times to set up the meetings, and before the pandemic, it basically destroyed the lives and businesses of thousands of people downtown and all over the state. Not getting a response from the city, several business owners came together, and we basically started self-governing ourselves. We started the Nashville Tourism Association. This was started as we saw a need for accountability and partnerships between companies and the community. That being said, we don't believe that the power should be given to the city. Our industry has operated and grown in several large cities across the state, and we believe that the next bill can stop any loopholes that someone might find. I see several loopholes in this bill that people could use to get around, and because we're on the same page and we want the regulation, I think it would be beneficial for us to be regulated by the state versus the city to avoid those loopholes and little companies popping up here and there that would still be outside this bill. We're struggling to pick up the pieces from the tornado, which that was in itself a mess. COVID-19 and finishing out the year with the bombing that basically killed all of 2nd Avenue. Struggling to catch up and just about losing everything, people and business in the state, we need to take a little break. We've taken it hard enough for the last year, and we don't need the city trying to destroy us while we're already down. We're asking to put this in summer study And I would love to work with Representative Freeman on drafting a new bill that would be regulated by the state, because we had the same goals, we had the same ideas. We've been doing this for 10-plus years without regulation. And we're telling you we need it, but we need to do it on a bigger scale than what this is right here. I think this would allow too many loopholes and too many areas and conflicts for everybody across the state. So,
Thank-
and that would be it. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Representative Grills.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And you just said that you've tried for how long?
Year and a half.
And the city has not, with you personally or your industry?
Both. I've tried to set up several with the city. I know Mr. Rosenblatt has also, and several other people have tried. The only person we were finally able to meet with was set up last week, and it was with the TLC, the Licensing Commission, and a representative from the Metro Police Department. That was the first meeting we've ever had, period.
Representative Grill.
I'll save my next question for Representative Freeman.
Okay. Representative Towns.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. And I've had an opportunity to meet with this gentleman. I remember you from last year as well.
Yes, sir.
Committee members, what I'd suggest, like to say, is that part of your business is that when people come to the city, such as in my city as well, this is a part of the charm and the character
Yes, sir.
that people look for, okay? And it enhances the experience that they have. When I go to another city, you know, those kinds of things that represent the city, I try to take full advantage of if I have the time, okay? And what I'd like to ask you is that at this point, your business, which this would be applicable across the state, what percentage of your business, if you could conceivably extract COVID out of it, how much of your business would this have impacted in a negative way? What percent?
If you're just talking about going with current standards at this time that they are using underneath the TLC, which assumably they would throw us underneath, you're talking about 20% a day. At least 20% a day.
Representative Towns.
Well, obviously, I mean, in my city, my guys, I support the business itself. 20% across the board a year with the jobs, that's not good at all. And I think we've got to figure out a way for y'all not only to exist, but to thrive. That's what I would hope. So I'm at the will of the committee as well as the chairman of the bill, what you want to try to do. But from me, from what I've shared with you, I support what we're trying to do in terms of allowing you to exist and make money.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other questions for their witness? Thank you, sir. Without objection,
you.
we're going back in session. Representative Freeman. And before you start, in regards to Honky Tonk Express, I'd like the record to show, I grew up across the street from Tootsie Bess, and that was the first Honky Tonk Express, I think, in Tennessee. Seriously, in Flat Rock and Woodbine. Okay, Representative Freeman.
Thank you, Chairman. And to the two witnesses, thank you for coming. This is, it's important for your voice to be heard here. And we've not talked, but Grant, you and I have talked. I have no intention of interfering with your business. You yourself have both said that we need some sort of regulation. I'm just trying to get everybody around the table to work on what that regulation looks like. And, you know, regulation doesn't have to mean a reduction of business. It doesn't have to mean a negative thing. You know, we set how many, you know, people can be in a restaurant. That's a regulation because of fire code. That's a good thing. And so, again, my intent is not to be punitive in any way, shape, or form. It's really and truly to make sure that everybody's interests are being looked out for. I do have one comment on the local versus the state. And while I definitely agree that a broader idea of a statewide practice is good, in this instance, many localities across the state don't even have this industry in their backyard. And so allowing a state entity that may or may not understand what they're regulating, I don't think makes sense. I think it should be It should be local, and that's why this bill is written the way it is. I'm happy to put more strict guardrails on it to protect the industry from maybe some local overreach. But anyway, with that, I'd like to stand for any questions.
Thank you, Representative Freeman. First, we had Representative Grills. You recognize?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Representative Freeman, you and I have talked about this, but I was troubled by the testimony that said that they've been trying to meet with the city of Nashville for almost 2 years. You and I, in the conversation we had earlier, were under a different impression. But what guarantees do we have that the city of Nashville will come to the table, because they're on record of saying they want to be at the table? What guarantees do we have that Nashville is willing to sit down and talk with these individuals in this industry?
It's it's a two-way street. If that can't happen, same agreement. I mean, this is, I'm not trying to strong-arm anybody here. I really want everybody to just agree on what the best practices are. So I mean, you have the same assurance I gave you before, that if for some reason the city doesn't decide they want to, doesn't want to meet, same deal as if the industry decided they didn't want to meet.
Representative Grills?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Representative Freeman, and you've always been honest. I have no reason to think that you won't be now, so appreciate it.
Thank you. Chairman Boyd, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I may have just had my question answered by your dialogue with Representative Grills. I guess I was asking the same thing. It seems like they have tried to get to the table with the city, and the city won't meet with them. And your bill seems like it would probably put pressure on these guys to meet with the city, but it looks like they're already willing. And I didn't know if you because I know you represent this area, and I didn't know if you had some conversations with the city and if you thought you could get them to the table. And I think you've already addressed that, but if you would just maybe touch on that.
Exactly the same thing. I think that, we've definitely had a weird period with COVID, and I think Metro was maybe a little bit more sensitive than others were to that. And so I'm not sure exactly if the period that we're talking about is because of that or not, but that's irrelevant. What I'm telling you right now is my desire is to get everybody around the table. And I mean, they're obviously willing. I mean, you sat here and heard both testimony. They want regulation. They want regulation. I want to see smart regulations put in place. So that's my desire with this. And same assurance as I gave Representative Grills a second ago stands for you.
Chairman Boyd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I came in here thinking I would be a no on this, but if your intent is literally to move this forward, to bring everyone together to coalesce around this, based on what I just heard from them, I think that's the best step forward. So I'm okay with that.
Thank you, Chairman Boyd. Anybody else? Representative Freeman, we have talked about this. My community, Williamson County, Franklin, have expressed concern too, and would like to see some kind of regulation, and I hope you can achieve that and to benefit both sides of this issue. And do we have any other final comments, Representative Freeman? Okay, we have a motion on the bill. We're now voting on House Bill 1392 to send to full transportation. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Bill moves to full transportation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Committee and Chairman.
Next up, House Bill 684 by Representative Beck has been taken off notice. That's item number 8. Item number 9, House Bill 1170 by Representative Harris. You're recognized, sir. Do we have a motion and a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Hey,
you're recognized, sir.
Thank you so much, Chairman, and to the committee. On 1170, I did want to just speak just a little bit about the bill for just a moment. This one right here specifically would not limit the ability of any officer, but it would keep wasted opportunities and wasted time from being presented in front of a court or judge. This bill came from actual judge asking that, saying that most times bills that are tickets that are less than 7 miles, he ends up throwing those out if somebody is 7 miles or going under, and so he typically throws those out. And so it's wasting his time and the time of the individual for them to have to drive all the way down to the courthouse just so their ticket gets thrown out for going 7 miles or less under the speed limit. And so this bill was somewhat around that. And I've had an opportunity to work with Elizabeth over in our safety department and kind of craft a little bit more and a little bit better on this. And so we've gotten to a point where I still have some space where I would like to have some discussion about it before we actually run this. And so I do want to request that at this time, if we could either send this one to summer study or take it off notice, either one.
Without objection, we'll take it off notice, and thank you for your explanation.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Without objection, House Bill 1170 is taken off notice. Item number 10, House Bill 1500 by Chairman Howell has been taken off notice. Brings us up to item number 11 by Chairman Howell, House Bill 123. We have a motion and a second. Chairman Howell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the annual Transportation Omnibus Bill for specialty license plates.
So moved. Okay. Question on the bill? We have a question on the bill. No, we don't. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I have to announce this. Yes. With request that you withdraw. Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a schedule of ominous amendments. We are now voting on adopting the amendments on the schedule. Legal, please roll, excuse me. Okay. Yeah, please roll the amendments into one. Thank you. Okay. Now.
Motion on the amendment.
Okay, we have a motion amendment. We're now voting on adding the amendments. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now we're back on the bill.
As I said, this is just the specialty license plates that you've just rolled all the amendments into one. I'd be glad to read all the amendments if the committee wants. It'd only take about 50 minutes.
Okay, we will hold off to defer to, did I hear a question? On the bill? Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. Okay, we now have a question on the bill. All in favor of sending House Bill 123 to full transportation, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Moves on to full transportation. Next up, we have House Bill 124, item number 12 on our agenda. Chairman Howell, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second.
This is the Transportation Omnibus Bill for naming of roads and bridges.
Okay. Any questions for the? Okay. We have a schedule of amendments. We are now voting on adopting the amendments on the schedule. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Amendments go on the bill. Legal, please roll the amendments into one. Is that correct? Okay, thank you. This is all new to us okay, now we're back on the bill. Chairman Howell, you recognize.
Just ask for a positive vote.
Okay. Any other questions? We have a question on the bill. Without objection, we're now voting on House Bill 124. From Chairman Howell, and we're going to send to full transportation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. House Bill 124 moves on to full transportation. Now we're going to go into special. Who? Weaver. Okay. Hold on. Let's take a 5-minute break. Recess, excuse me. We're looking for Chair Weaver right now. Now back in session, and Representative Weaver, do we have a motion and a second? We're going to take
Motion.
up House Bill 1544, item number 4 on our agenda. Okay, we have a motion and a second. You're recognized. And ma'am, I understand we have an amendment. What do you show on that?
Yes, Chairman, members, I have 5749
That's
as the
what,
most current.
that's what I show. We need to vote on the amendment. Do we have a motion and a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. We're now voting to add Amendment 5749 to House Bill 1544. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Amendment 5749 goes on the bill. You're recognized, Representative Weaver.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, members. This bill came to me from my senator in my district, and we have some citizens that's who we work for. We work for our constituents who thought, you know, if I could pay to have my tags every other year, I wouldn't have to go to wherever it is you go. We call it the Turner Building or your clerk's office to get your tags. You could go every other year. There'd be no change in no discount 2-for-1. It would be the same price every 2 years. So if it's $110, then it would be $220. So it's a convenience to the constituencies. It also has a positive fiscal note, which, members, that's hard to find. Also, and I'm just giving you the positives, but there's always two sides to the story. So also it not only helps constituents, it's optional, so it's not mandatory. If you want to, you can. If you don't have to. Basically, folks like it, but it has a little bit of heartburn with the clerks. And so today, members, I'm just standing here before you to be at your will. Whatever the committee decides to do is fine with me. But again, we do this kind of policy or these kind of procedures with other things like, help me out. I just had one in my mind, but I forgot it. We do a 2-year. Yes, thank you for all you insurance folk who in that camp. And what was the other one? Gun permits. So this is not foreign. This is not a brand new process, but it is something that a lot of people are thinking about doing. So that's what the bill does, and I'm open for any questions.
Representative Weaver, thank you for bringing this bill. I'd like to tell the members of the committee, a few years ago, we passed legislation that allowed 2-year registration of rental cars. And we found out it was very convenient and money saving for the fleet and also for the clerks, because normally rental cars are possessed for about 1.5 years before they're sold. So the clerks made money on that. The concerns I received from my county commission or clerk was, about the insurance, because they have to run a check through Tennessee clerk website, and if the individual registering the car does not have a insurance, they put a stop code on it and do not issue the registration. And there was concern that this would stretch it out for a two-year period. But also, we kind of feel like that the cost, most people only do it for 1 year, and they may not want to keep their car for 2 years. And understand that if we pass this on to transportation, you will try to get the county clerks to come in and testify and provide their side of the story too, so we have more of a fuller picture on this. Yes.
And to your point, Chairman, personally, as one, like all of our members, we have to hear both sides of the story. We have to give it fair vetting. We have to understand the pros and the cons. And so, yes, I'm very open to that. Again, it's not a new process. Is it right for this? I don't know. I think we'll all just have to discuss it, and we'll have both sides of the story so we can hear the rest of the story.
And also, I'd like to add on the emission testing. I talked to TDEC last week about this, and the process is, there's several counties, Hamilton County and Williamson County and Davidson County, their final approval to do away with emission testing is pending, and we should know by August, and they report, the TDEC representative reports that it's still ongoing, the discussions, and
Right.
hopefully by August also, we will no longer have this
should know.
requirement. So, any questions from the committee? Oh, Chairman, Representative Russell was first, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. You know, I love the bill, and I would take advantage of it, but my two clerks in my district, they both are against it, so unfortunately, I'll have to vote against it today.
I understand. You got to hear from your peeps.
Chairman Howell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I like your bill too because I like convenience, and I like to find ways to make things easy and convenient for the constituents that I represent. Just to clarify, this is permissive, it's not mandatory.
That's correct. It's optional, so there's no demand.
And it's
or mandate.
permissive on both sides
Correct.
by the consumer, the person buying the tags, also permissive in the clerk's office. If they
Correct.
want to do this, they can. If they don't want to, they don't have to.
As it's written in the language in the bill. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other comments?
Right here.
What's there? Oh, Representative Grills.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and my friend, Ms. Weaver. Serving on the county commission for 10 years, every year it was at the budget, we were always talking about needing more money for employees. And this right here seems to be somewhat streamlining the county clerk's office because the less traffic you have in, the less need you would have for employees. So I think that could be an added benefit that probably isn't necessarily referred to or even referenced. But I do have a couple of questions about wheel tax. What happens if you're in the middle of say you buy a tag 21 for years 20 and 21, and the 21 budget year, they change the wheel tax. How will they go back to charge that, or will that just have to come into effect in the next?
As I understand it, Chairman, as I understand it,
Representative
it does go, it just kind of rolls over into that next year.
Representative Grills.
Okay. And then there are some counties, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and there are some counties that have like a $2.50 registration fee, $5 registration fee. Would they just have to double that at that point? Because I know there's some local budget issues here that would probably play, and I don't expect you to give an answer for every question because that's sometimes not fair, but these are questions that I've been asked from my locals.
Representative Wigger.
As I see it, thank you, Chairman, as I see it, Representative Grills, it's definitely going to take planning and preparing forward from the clerk's office point. I mean, they've got to basically have a piggy bank over here for all those ka-chings to go to so that they know how to budget, because they will have to budget differently than they normally do. That would be a question for them in full committee. I'm really not sure how that is boots on the ground, so I really don't know.
Representative Grills.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And one last question. The emergency tags, like a firefighter, I believe every year they come up for renewal, and they have to verify that that person is eligible for a firefighter tag or an emergency tag. Would they just have to do this every 2 years at that point? Maybe this would be fair to ask these questions next week to the county clerks.
Representative Weaver.
To your question, Representative, this can be kind of difficult. Like if I was a clerk, this might be a little difficult in remembering who can take advantage of the every 2 years and who cannot. It might need to be clearly stated so that the citizens know, like you be in line getting your driver's license and somebody's, well, I only have to come every 2 years. Well, how come? That kind of thing. So again, that is a question you need to ask the clerks, the ones who are actually going to be doing the legislation, because I do not know that at this point.
Representative Grills.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to vote for it because I like you and I like the bill and I like the thought of it. But and honestly, every now and then I'm bad about forgetting to get my tags renewed, and it might be a benefit to me.
Well, I have a story to add to that, too. It's a good thing we have good, wonderful state troopers out there who understand how busy our lives can be.
Anything else, Representative Weaver?
I'm good. I'm at the will of the committee.
Well, just listening to the testimony here, Representative Grills brings a good perspective his time on the county commission, and I think on the surface his legislation looks good, but also there's a lot that I like to hear also on the other side of it. So if we vote to send this to transportation, I look forward to asking those questions. Representative Grills, thanks for bringing up those details that I didn't even think about. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay, now we're going to vote on sending House Bill. Oh, Representative Weaver, okay.
I just wanted to add, I love the way we do our committee process here on the House side. We go through and we flesh things out, because I don't know how to answer that question, and we need to address that. And so that's what I love about the House. Just had to say that.
House of Commons is all I'd like to say, okay?
House of Common Sense.
Okay.
Common sense?
Okay, with that, any other comments? Okay, House Bill, we're voting on House Bill 1544 to send to full transportation. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Ayes have it. House Bill 1544 moves on to full transportation. Now,
Thank you.
next, we have to take up a special calendar, and without objection, we are going to consider House Bill 1213 from Representative Miller. He has told me that he has taken that off notice without objection. Do we need to vote on it? Okay, without objection, House Bill 1213 is taken off notice. Committee, this is our final meeting. I just want to tell okay. I just want to tell everybody, I really appreciate y'all tolerating the chairmanship during this process. I think we really did a great job looking at every bill carefully before we send it on to the full committee. We try to keep them out, or try to get them out of business, but I think we got rid of a lot of more bills than we passed. But y'all, I'm very proud to serve with each and every one of y'all, and I appreciate your time. And any comments before we wrap it up? Chairman Howe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say what a delight it is for me to work with you. You just make the full chairman and the full committee's job so much easier because of the way you handle the subcommittee, and it's a really pleasure to work with you. I told somebody the other day laughingly that I said, Chairman Whitson has such an easygoing but firm way about him that he can take your bill off notice and make you like it.
Could you tell my wife that for me?
So I appreciate the job you do, and it's always a pleasure working with you. Thank you.
Well, Chairman Howe, and I think Chairman Boyd would know this term, one team, one fight, and that's the way we look at it when this transportation committee. And I'm so proud to be on transportation, and I'm proud of everybody that serves on it. Any other comments? Representative Towns.
Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, being the senior member on this committee, and in all the committees I go to, for the most part, I've been on a lot of committees, and many of them have never run this smooth. They just don't, okay? And for me, serving on transportation, as I said last year, has taught me a lot. I didn't know transportation was as interesting as it is. There's a lot. And the presentations have been very, very, as I said earlier, we ought to get some CEU credits for it because they're that good. Now, a little advice to you, Mr. Chairman. Don't ever go to your house and tell your wife that because you're the chairman of this committee that you are the chairman of that household. It just does not work that way. I want to see you back in one piece, Mr. Chairman, but thanks for a great job.
Thank you, Representative Towns. I do need to make one correction. House Bill 1213 is not off notice. It is returned to the clerk's desk. Okay, that's the proper ruling on that. Now, next week, before we adjourn, I just want to give y'all a special treat. Safety, thanks to our liaison from the Department of Safety, will do a license plate demonstration for us next Tuesday at the same time with a trooper car. If anybody wants to see how, Representative Russell will probably want to get back in there and drive it, I'm sure. But next week, and we'll send this out in an email, but we'll have this demonstration next week at 1:30 to show how license plate readers actually work and how they benefit law enforcement. Okay, any other? Without objection, we are adjourned subject to the call of the chair. Ooh, I never had so many different kind of rulings and